The discriminant is part of the quadratic formula. Specifically, it's the expression inside the square root in the quadratic formula. So that expression is b squared minus 4ac. Hence we'll use this capital D here to represent the discriminant. Now you'll notice we do not include the square root on that. We're just looking at that expression inside. So this tells us about the number and types of solutions. There's basically three different cases that we can come up with. We're either going to find that D is positive, in which case if we kind of think of the entire quadratic formula, we'd have a negative b plus or minus the square root of a positive number. Well, the square root of a positive number is a real number, and because of the plus or minus we would get two solutions. And so a positive discriminant tells us that we have two real solutions. You might also see that written as two unique real solutions because they are different because of the plus or minus. Now another thing that might happen when we compute the discriminant is that we might get 0. So in that case we'd have a negative b plus or minus a square root of 0 over 2a. Well, the square root of 0 is 0, and having negative b plus 0, that's just negative b. Negative b minus 0, that's just negative b. So I end up getting the same thing. In other words, the plus or minus does not give me two different solutions. So here I'd get one real solution, and we can be a little bit more specific, and it's actually a rational number. So I could say there's one rational solution, simply because the square root worked out exactly. The square root of 0 is 0, so we don't have a radical in there anymore. And then our third option is that our discriminant might be negative. So in that case, again, if we think back to the entire quadratic formula, I'd have negative b plus or minus the square root of a negative number. Well, the square root of a negative would need to be rewritten in terms of I. And so here we're going to get two non-real solutions. And we can call them two imaginary solutions, since they will involve the number I. And again, we're getting 2 because of the plus or minus. And so that's how we can use the discriminant to identify the number and type of solution. So in this case, our A is 1, our B is 6, and our C is 9. So we're just going to go ahead and plug those numbers into the discriminant formula, just that b squared minus 4ac. So we get 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. So that's 36 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 9 is 36. That gives us 0. So the discriminant for this problem is 0. And that tells us that we have one real solution.